Quick snap.
This quick snap is one of 5 quick snaps that'll be covering the fundamentals of playing inside linebacker. It is a shorter part of an hour-and-a-half long video I put together about how we've gone about coaching up the fundamentals of our inside linebackers the past few years. So I'll make sure I put a link in the description down below to that longer video if you want to check it out. And by the end of the week, I plan on getting links to all 5 quick snaps about the fundamentals of inside linebacker play.
For our inside linebackers and any inside linebackers, I think there's times and places where you want to key the backfield and get your reads primarily off the backfield with your secondary reads off of the offensive lineman as far as picking up any pullers for a counter misdirection type deal. When we key the backfield, our reads are ultimately in and out, which is describing the back's path in relationship to the initial alignment of the linebacker. If that running back is in, you need to stay square for cutback, and big time, you're tackling with the inside shoulder. If the running back's path is at you, you get downhill, you want to leverage and tackle the near hip and really end up forcing that guy back to cutback. And then if the running back's out, we need to get downhill initially, but then quickly scrape out to the perimeter, match the back of that path of that running back. Our inside gap, if we had one, if the whole backfield's past it, we don't have that inside gap. We're on the play side here. We need to be able to leverage and tackle that near hip to outside run support. So here's a early season example of in and out in our inside run. Right now, ball carrier's coming inside of me as the play side inside linebacker. Ball carrier's inside of me as that linebacker. I continue downhill. I'm at, that ball carrier's coming at me. I'm a spill player for the right inside linebacker here. I'm a scrape player as the backside inside linebacker. We get our classic fill and spill, scrape and overlap against the gap scheme. And that's a decent clip. A couple more examples of that. At me, that Mac linebacker has the at, the will linebacker has the in. Ultimately, that will linebacker's job is to make sure any sort of cutback, I clean it up. That Mac linebacker, I'm hitting it with the near shoulder, my right shoulder, will linebacker, my left shoulder. Flip it around on the other side. Here's a game clip of kind of the at and the in showing up. Guys getting downhill. And ultimately, both the inside linebackers, I mean, they're taking on blockers at the same time. And we really consider this a backfield read because right now you don't have either guard pulling. So depending on what I'm reading, all right, we mostly will read guards here in a little bit. But if my guard doesn't pull, now I got to pick up the backfield for number 17 here, the will linebacker, I believe. So his back is going inside and away. Number 5, his back's coming at him. Number 5's downhill. We get our scrape and overlap. He's a spill player. Number 17's a spill player. And ultimately, 17 just needs a little lower pad level here on the tackle. It's Delton Kellogg. They're big and strong. Another in and out case. Oh, this is a game, one of the few games where we've straight up keyed the backfield. Both inside linebackers downhill. Top inside linebacker, action's coming at him. Bottom inside linebacker, action's going inside of him. Top inside linebacker is on the outside hip. He's hitting with his inside shoulder. And bottom inside linebacker, or will, scraping across, hitting the near hip with his inside shoulder. I'll just let the end zone clip play here. We got Cody at our Mac linebacker. And Trent coming from Will. Another backfield read. So this is misdirection. The downside, I think, to key in backfield is sometimes misdirection like this. It pauses you for a second, but ultimately, if that pauses you, the backfield's also slower, so it's usually an okay thing. So we got action coming at me for the Mac linebacker. Action going away for me. Inside for the Will linebacker. Actually, I got to flip those two guys around, but bottom guy, action came at him, took on the guard. And what I don't love about the backfield read is we usually don't fit open windows as well. We don't see the offensive linemen as well. But this was a team that didn't pull very much. So that's why we went to backfield reads. Try and speed up those inside linebackers. All right, top of the screen, action's coming at him. Bottom of the screen, action's inside. Real good job getting downhill by the inside. Scraping. Tackle tries to scoop him. Leverage, inside shoulder. Both guys are inside shoulder leverage. Here we go, end zone cut. So again, at and the in guy. Blocker near back is at me. Should be more downhill here by our Mac linebacker, but he's making sure he's playing the outside of the insert. Will linebacker's playing the inside. Insert doesn't do a great job. Both linebackers get up on the tackle, and that's a good example of, all right, even if that near back on the ISO play here, even if he does get the block, which again I'd like us to be more downhill, dip and rip through that. Our downhill fill and rip progression that we talked about a little bit earlier. I'd like that near linebacker to be more downhill, so that job of the lead blocker is even harder. So we maybe hit this. This was ultimately a 3-yard gain. Maybe we hit this for 0-yard gain if we dip and rip past that. And even if he got blocked better, would be an okay spot. So here we go. Something getting out to the perimeter. Same overall ideas. Both guys are going to ultimately hit. Ideally, now we're going to hit with the outside shoulder by our Mac linebacker, because we're going to force it out to either our stud linebacker or one of our DBs. Maybe our Bob linebacker on the boundary side here on the other side, if it was ever at the will. Both guys work both sides of the drill. And again, the backside linebacker is constantly looking for, all right, where's the cutback? Where's the cutback? No cutback, I can keep pursuing. Linebacker on the bottom of the screen, he ultimately ends up reading and out. Again, no pullers, so he's getting out to the perimeter because he got to a secondary read. He's ultimately keying backfield after confirming his guard is not pulling here. So guard didn't pull. These guys are unbalanced. We've shifted the front over. Right there is he's B gap responsible. Normally he'd be A gap responsible if this wasn't overshifted front. He saw the gap got filled. Also this formation, like their thing was running what we call power ISO on, so they're not pulling on the power. They're on blocking with the tight end. He reads that gap's closing. All right, that guard's ultimately going to block our nobody. I guess he's jobs block the backside inside linebacker. He sees this backfield action of those two lead blockers is working outside. Again, he saw this formation a couple times. Comes up, makes sure the inside gap is filled. Overlaps actually with the corner. Good job running the perimeter. Let's watch our backside linebacker one time, number 11 here, Dylan, working behind Kevin. Kevin's 56 there. Dylan gets picked up on the backside. And that's one downside of keying guards is you end up a little bit slow on the backside, and really he should be understanding, and this might be just the case of, all right, the kid playing nose on the center here, normally he's a 2 technique on the guard and he's ripping inside. Well, if that kid's ripping to A gap, I'm this side of the guard responsible. So if he doesn't hop back, he maybe beats that guard and ends up being a bonus tackler. There's another one, end zone shot. We got sweep coming to the perimeter. Inside linebacker gets out, probably overruns it just a little bit too much. End zone shot, could be higher up. It's a long story. High school filmers they're extraordinary. All right, so near back, where's he go? He's out. So now I want to keep, right now, this half step behind this running back, I want to keep that leverage the entire time here. he ultimately he's falling the near back, and because of that, he ends up outside for a second. This is actually a great example of the backside inside linebacker 21 playing the in, playing the cutback. So watch his near back here. Near back is working away. He's inside of me now. I'm downhill, looking for a gap. I don't love how his shoulders turn here, but ultimately, if the ball carrier's shoulders are turned, we got to be turned. He does a great job right here of squaring back up. He gets some help from the play side 4 technique. Play side 4 technique actually does a nice job. He steps straight ahead, and because of that, as the tackle goes to reach him, he's ultimately playing our leg technique. That's a whole nother video. Check it out sometime. So he ends up reach for a second. 32's out. 21 scraping from the backside. Gets squared up, and is a bonus guy on the tackle. Another clip. Ultimately get an out read. Pursue the perimeter. Inside out leverage. So we're watching that linebacker. His near back's out. He's got to go help outside. And doing a real good job of, because this is not like a straight perimeter run. It's ultimately off the extra tackle. Stays square. Ends up chopping the legs down, helping the corner. And this is a great example of once that goes out, I'm going to hit that with my outside shoulder. I'm leveraging it to my force player. We're in a hard cover 2 look here with the corner. Corner's near back comes at him. He keeps the perimeter. It'd be nice if our corner stayed a little bit more square. We get a bunch of tacklers to it. And that's the idea of the defense, of the concept of spill the ball to the perimeter. Outside linebacker. Spills it. Coach is getting reached by the tight end. Oh, that's a base block by the tight end. He's coached up. Hey, I went inside. Let my inside linebackers run to the perimeter here. Safety. We could be a little more aggressive. Throw our clubs, man. Throw our clubs.
Thanks for checking out this quick snap on Coaching Football with Brian Klee. Please follow me on Twitter at Coach Klee. Subscribe to the channel, Coaching Football with Brian Klee, by clicking down below. And if you have any further follow-up questions, email me at coachbrianklee@gmail.com.